crochet cute things, please don't skip this part of the video because I'm going to go over yarn, hook size, materials, and some important notes to know before following the tutorial and making your bunnies. Happy early Valentine's Day. Consider this my gift to you. If you have a small crochet business and you want to create products for your shop using my patterns, then please feel free to do so. Just note some important rules that I have for doing this. Also, if you like my content, please consider supporting me back by signing up for a free trial of Skillshare using the link in the description box. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with classes on YouTube success, how to grow your business, how to start an Etsy shop, some crochet classes, and lots more. There's something for everyone. I'm going to earn a small commission per sign up from January to March. I'm going to be putting this towards yarn and material purchases for the year. Once again, it's completely free for you to sign up. It's just another way to support my content and crochet tutorials. I'm also hoping to save enough to get a small studio space to improve the quality of my content. So thank you so much to everyone who's going to sign up. If you're looking for some more Skillshare class recommendations, just scroll through the community page and I've got a bunch over there. I recommend using a fluffy chenille, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I use that yarn with a 4.5mm hook, and so my bunnies are slightly larger than my hand. If you use a larger hook size with a thicker yarn, then your bunnies will be larger. If you use a smaller hook size with a thinner yarn, like a regular cotton or acrylic yarn, then your bunnies will be smaller. The exact yarn I used is on my Amazon storefront, and the link is in the description. I've also put a bunch of other materials like safety eyes. There's some needles on there because you are going to need a needle for some sewing. I want to note that this is not a sewing tutorial. I'm going to show you some demonstrations for some tricky bits, but you might want to already know how to do some very basic sewing because you're going to need to sew, well, the head to the body, the ears to the head, basic stuff like that. So you just need to know how to tie a knot and how to, well, sew up and down to join two pieces together. The pattern is extremely repetitive, so for example, for both the bunnies, the head and the body and the legs are the exact same. And all of the pieces start off with the same way with a magic ring. Now for beginners, I have a fake magic ring technique that you can use, and if you are a more experienced crocheter, then you can just go ahead and make a regular magic ring and then follow the patterns for the rounds like normal. Once you're done with the head, body, and legs, then you can make your customizations. You can make long ears, or you can make pointed ears, and then you can make long arms to hold a tulip, or you can make short arms like this to hold the love letter, and then of course you can make the tulip, or you can make the heart envelope. And then you might also want to have a different kind of yarn to embroider the nose on. I feel like the differing texture just makes it even cuter. I used regular cotton yarn, and I will put that on my Amazon storefront as well. Since the pattern is so very repetitive, I highly recommend opening up the written pattern, which is on my blog. The link is in this video's description. Open it up, keep it open for reference, refer to it, because after some demonstrations, you might want to look at that for some really small, tiny pieces. My goal here is not just to show you how to make the bunnies, but to also show you how to read amigurumi patterns so that you don't have to rewatch the video again and again. Scroll through it, look at where the pattern for each piece is, just so you know which part to refer to. And that's it. Happy crocheting, everyone, and please don't forget to sign up for a free trial of Skillshare using my link. Thank you for all your love and support, and I will see you next time. This is the written pattern. Please open this up before you start crocheting. It has written instructions for all of the pieces. Here's the head, and stitch counts are in brackets. That's the body, and then you've got the legs. And then there's different things that you can pick from, so you can choose to do small hands for your bunny or long arms. Then you can do long ears, you can do pointed ears. We're going to start off by making the head. We're going to start off by making a fake magic ring. Remember that you can replace this with a regular magic ring. Go ahead and make a slip knot. Just a regular slip knot. And then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to slip stitch into that very first chain that we did at the beginning. So insert your hook into the chain, pull up a loop, and then slide that same loop through this one. Now I know it's tough to see, but in the middle you'll have a circle formed in between your chains. So you're going to insert your hook through the circle that's in between the chains and not the chains itself. Can you see my nail poking out? That's a circle I mean. Now you're going to chain 1. If you made a magic ring, you will already have your chain 1. And now in round 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets. So you're going to insert your hook into that circle, pull up a loop, then you're going to have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through both of those loops. This is the first single crochet of round 1, so you have to take your stitch marker or bobby pin and just mark that stitch. so you know where your round will start and end. Go ahead and insert 5 more single crochets. So insert your hook into the center, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Go ahead and do single crochets until you have a total of 6 in round 1. Once you're done, you're just going to pull this a little bit tighter to close up the circle in the middle, and you should have a neat little circle to start off your work. Now for round 2, we're going to start by inserting our hook into this marked stitch. So since we're working in continuous rounds, your next round will always start in the marked stitch. Insert your hook into the marked stitch and you can remove your marker. Now we're going to do our first single crochet of round 2 and mark it with a marker. The pattern for round 2 is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So we're going to go back into that same stitch one more time, do another single crochet. Now go ahead and do 2 single crochets in the same stitch for every stitch. So I'm going to go into the next stitch and do 1 single crochet and insert my hook into the same stitch and do another single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now repeat this all the way around. You're going to have a total of 12 single crochets at the end. For round 3, we're going to insert our hook into the marked stitch and start this round with 1 single crochet. And then you're going to mark that same stitch with a marker. Always remember to mark the first single crochet of every round with your marker. Now the pattern for round 3 is 1 single crochet and then an increase. An increase is basically when you do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So we did 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to do an increase. That means that we're going to insert 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And now repeat this pattern all the way around. So in the next stitch I'm going to do 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch an increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. 1 single crochet and then an increase. Now we're going to do round 4. Round 4 starts off with the same way, so you're going to do 1 single crochet in the marked stitch and mark it back. Now the pattern for round 4 is 2 single crochets and then an increase. That means you did 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch you're going to do 1 more single crochet, and in the next stitch you're going to do an increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And repeat. So in the next stitch 1 single crochet, in the next stitch 1 more single crochet, and then in the next stitch an increase where you do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. I like to call these increase rounds because right now we are increasing the size of the head. So increase rounds are what will build the size that you want for the top of whatever you're working on. So the more increase rounds you do, the larger the top of your head will be. Also, a good way of knowing if you're on track is if your work ends on an increase. So if your round ends with an increase, then you most definitely have the right stitch count and you didn't accidentally miss any stitches. Round 5 starts off the same way. Insert your hook into the marked stitch. That's your first single crochet, and mark it with a marker. When we do the hands, the ears, the legs, the body, you'll notice that the steps are very repetitive. So once you learn the technique and how the rounds work, then you'll be able to crochet this on your own as well. For round 5, the pattern is 3 single crochets and then an increase. So we did our first single crochet, in the next stitch, second, and in the next stitch, third, and then in the next stitch, an increase. And you repeat this all the way around just like before. So you do 1, 2, and 3, all in different stitches, and then in the next stitch, an increase. Round 6 starts off the same way. This is our last increase round, so this is the size that we're going to have for the top of our head, and then after this we're going to build the length of the head. So the pattern is 4 single crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase. And you're going to repeat this all the way around, making sure that you're doing 1, and then the next stitch, 2, in the next stitch, 3, in the next stitch, 4, and then in the next stitch, an increase, and repeat all the way around. Next, we're going to do something that I like to call repeat rounds, and this is because in all of the following rounds, you're going to have only one single crochet in every stitch. So you're just repeating one single crochet around and around and around for the next number of rounds. So round 7 is a repeat round, which means you're just going to start off like we always do with one single crochet in the marked stitch. Don't forget to put your marker back. Always do this for every round. Now you're just going to do one single crochet in every stitch, so no increases at all. It's very repetitive. You're just doing one single crochet in every stitch for this whole round. You're going to notice that your work starts to look a little bit like this. It's going downwards. Now for round 8, 9, 10, and 11, you're going to repeat the same steps. You're going to start off by doing one single crochet and marking it as the first stitch of your round. I'm doing round 8 right now. And then you're going to do one single crochet in every stitch. So you're going to do this for round 8, round 9, round 10, and 11. This is what you should have at the end of round 11. And now for round 12, we're going to start our decrease rounds. Decrease rounds are similar to increase rounds. The difference is that instead of doing increases, you do decreases. Remember how in round 6 we did 4 single crochets and then an increase? We're going to do that same pattern, but instead of an increase, we're going to do a decrease. So you're going to start off by inserting your hook into the marked stitch like always, and then place the marker back. That's our first single crochet. Then we're going to do our second in the next stitch, third, and our fourth. And now we're going to do an invisible decrease. Here's how I like to do it. You've got 2 loops of your stitch, the front loop and the back loop. You're going to insert your hook only through the front loop like that, and then the front loop of the other stitch. So then you'll have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to slide through 2 of them, and then yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops, making an invisible decrease. And now you're going to repeat this all the way around. So let's do 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now let's do an invisible decrease. So you're going to grab onto one front loop, then the other front loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2 loops, and repeat this all the way around. After doing this round, you're going to notice that your head is getting a little bit smaller, and that's what the decrease rounds do. They're going to decrease the size of your head. For the next round, we're going to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease. So starting off with your first single crochet of the round, mark it with a marker, and 2 in the next stitch, 3, and in the next stitch a decrease, front loop, the front loop of the other stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 like that, and repeat all the way around. So the exact same steps as what we were doing for our increase rounds, but with a decrease. That's 3 single crochets, and now I'm going to do a decrease and repeat this all the way around. We've now made it to our last decrease round. For this, you're just going to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease. Same steps as before. Start off with your first single crochet, mark it with a marker. This pattern is very repetitive, and once you get the hang of it, you won't even need the demonstrations. That's our second single crochet, and in the next stitch, we're going to do an invisible decrease. And now we're going to repeat this all the way around. So 2 single crochets and then a decrease. That's 1, 2, and a decrease. So front loop, the front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Repeat all the way around. And you're all done with the head. Here's how to end your work once you're finished. Just insert your hook into the marked stitch, and we're going to slip stitch. So yarn over, pull the loop through, and through the other loop on your hook like that. If you want, you can also slip stitch through the next stitch just to make it a little bit more secure. And then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut a long length because I want to use the same piece for sewing later on too. And then pull, tighten, And you're all done with your head. Next, I'm going to show you how to embroider the face. For the face, I'm using safety eyes. I've got this really handy set from Amazon, and I'll put it on my Amazon storefront so you guys can get it too. It's got a bunch of different sizes, and no, this is not an ad. I just really love this box. I've been able to make so many plushies with it. Go ahead and find a place where you think the eyes of your bunny will look nice. I usually just start off by placing it anywhere and then moving on from there. Okay, look, they're different sizes. I don't think this one's gonna work. Now let's embroider the nose. I'm going to do it right over here and here. So these two are going to be how thick my nose is. So I'm going to insert my needle from the back. Okay, I found a spot that I think will work. I'm just gonna pull the needle out from there and insert it in the middle of where I want it to be. And pull, and then I'm just going to repeat this until I have like a nose shape. I'm going to go through that same spot again, maybe a little bit next to it, come out, go down, and then repeat. So come out, go down, come out, go down, until I fill up this side as well. So at the end of it, your nose will look something like this. So you have to do this quite a few times to get like that little bunch. Just put your needle down and up. So if your needle is facing down, you're gonna come back up from another spot. You can even try to make like a little heart shape. I think I did this for my Jellycat bunnies and they turned out pretty cute, but it was really hard. And go back down again and repeat. Once you're done, you can just tie a knot at the back, and I also added this little line in the middle. It's not that noticeable because I pulled it really tight, but what you're going to do is you're going to tie a knot with this, and then once you've got your knot done, you're just going to take your scissor, cut, and you're done with the embroidery. Now I'm going to show you how to make the ears. Now you have two options. You can make long ears or you can make pointed ears from the neck section. We're going to follow the exact same steps as the head. That means that we're going to start off with a slip knot just like before. And then we're going to chain 3. Then we're going to insert a slip stitch into that very first chain. So insert your hook into that first chain and slip stitch. And then to start off the round, you're going to chain 1. Remember that you can replace the fake magic ring with a real magic ring. You're going to insert 6 single crochets for round 1. So insert your hook into the center circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That is your first single crochet of round 1. So take a marker and don't forget to mark it. We're going to be working in continuous rounds again. Go ahead and do 5 more single crochets so that you have a total of 6 single crochets in this round. This is what your work will look like once you've got 6 single crochets. Now we're going to start round 2. The pattern for round 2 is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So you're going to start by inserting your hook into the marked stitch and doing your first single crochet of round 2. Don't forget to mark that with a marker. And then insert your hook back into that same stitch and do another single crochet because the pattern is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now repeat this all the way around. 1 and then the same stitch, 2. At the end of this you should have a total of 12 single crochets. So this is the same pattern as the head that we started off with, so it's very repetitive. Now we're going to start round 3. The pattern for round 3 is 1 single crochet and then an increase. So you're going to do your first single crochet of round 3, place your marker back. Now in the next stitch we're going to do an increase, which means you're going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. That's 1, insert your hook back into that same stitch, and 2. Repeat this all the way around. So in the next stitch 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch 2 single crochets in the same stitch. After round 3, we're just going to be doing repeat rounds, which means we're not going to be doing any more increases. So that means that from round 4 to round 12, you're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. That means that round 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, you're going to repeat the same steps. So you're going to start off by inserting your hook into that first stitch to start the round. I'm starting round 4. And then place a marker back into that stitch. Don't forget to do this step. And now you're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. no increases, no decreases, just one single crochet in every stitch, making sure that you're not accidentally putting more than one in every stitch. When you're done with round 4, you're going to notice that your work is going upwards, and when we're making the ears, we're just going to fold it like this to make the ear shape. So don't worry about the shape right now. Now do round 5 to 12 the same way. So go ahead and do one single crochet in every stitch for the next few rounds. Remember to keep track of which round you're on because you don't want to accidentally do the wrong number of rounds. This is what your work should look like once you're done with round 12. Now we're going to do round 13. Round 13 is a decrease round, so we're going to do one single crochet and then a decrease. So start your round off like we always do. That's one single crochet and place the marker back. Now we have to do a decrease, so you're going to grab onto the front loop of the next stitch and the front loop of the other stitch next to it. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over, pull through the other 2 loops, and repeat this all the way around. One single crochet, and then a decrease. Front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Repeat all the way around. Once you're done, you're going to notice that your work has gotten slightly smaller. Now for round 14, 15, and 16, you're going to do one single crochet in every stitch, no increases and no decreases. So I'm doing round 14 right now, which means I'm just going to do one single crochet in every stitch. When you're done with round 14, go ahead and do round 15, one single crochet in every stitch, and then round 16, which is also one single crochet in every stitch all the way around. Now we're going to do our very last round. This round is a decrease round, so we're going to do one single crochet and then a decrease. So that's my first single crochet of the round. Don't forget your marker. I feel like I say this constantly, but it is so important to not forget your marker. Next, we're going to do a decrease and then repeat this pattern all the way around. So one single crochet, and then a decrease. We're going to be pulling the ear in tighter. We're going to be closing it up a little bit. Now you can just fold your work. So just press it and you'll have the shape of your ear. Now to end our work, I'm just going to single crochet through these stitches. So there's no specific place to go through, but we kind of want to close this up. So I'm just going to insert my hook through both these stitches on the side here, and then single crochet. And then you can turn your work this way, and to close it up even more, you can single crochet back through. So insert your hook. There's no specific place to go through. Just insert your hook through the pieces to close it and single crochet through both the pieces. I'm going to do just 2. I don't think I need more than that. And you've closed up your ear. We're just going to fasten off, so chain 1 and get your scissor. I'm going to leave a bit of a long end so I can use this end for sewing as well. And then pull, tighten, and now you can sew this onto your bunny. I don't usually show the sewing parts on my channel, but I got a few requests for it, so I'm just going to show you really quickly what I generally do. It's really easy once you get the hang of it, and I would recommend just doing whatever you feel comfortable with. So first, place the ear wherever you want to sew it. I would recommend keeping it at equal distance. Once you've done the first ear, the second one's much easier to do because you already know where you're going to put it. And then you're going to insert your needle through the stitch. So just grab on to where you've put your work. I want it to go right over there, and pull it up. And this is just going to make that first stitch that attaches your ear onto your head. Now you have to go through the ear piece as well as the stitches. So you have to make sure that you're going through both of them to sew them together. And then I'm just going to go through the stitch like that and pull. If you're using fluffy yarn, make sure to not pull too harshly. So you just go through the ear and you go through the stitch and you pull. And you're sewing. Now I'm going to show you how to make these pointed ears. We're going to get started by making a regular slip knot. And then you're going to chain 3. Then you're going to slip stitch into that first chain. and chain 1 to start the round. Now you've made your fake magic ring. In round 1, we're going to do 4 single crochets. Insert your hook into the circle that's formed in between the chains. Make your first single crochet. Don't forget to mark it with a marker. Go ahead and do 3 more single crochets so that you have a total of 4 single crochets in this round. Now we're going to tighten, and in the next round we're going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase. So start off by inserting your hook into the marked stitch. We're going to do our first single crochet, mark it again, and because the pattern is 1 single crochet and then an increase, in the next stitch we're going to do an increase. Remember that an increase is just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So I did 1 single crochet, I'm going to insert my hook back into that same stitch and do another single crochet. And now I'm going to repeat 1 single crochet, and then in the last stitch an increase. Once I'm done with this round, I'm just going to flip my work this way. So I'm just flipping it to the other side so I can see the stitches better. Now we're going to do round 3, which is the same pattern as before. You're going to do 1 single crochet and then you're going to do an increase. So that is my first single crochet. Don't forget to mark it. In the next stitch, I'm going to do an increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and now repeat this all the way around. Now for round 4 and round 5, you're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. That means you're not going to do any increases or anything in round 4 and 5. You're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. I'm doing round 4 right now. Now we're going to do round 5, which is once again just 1 single crochet in every stitch. Please make sure that you're only doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. And now we're going to end our work. You're just going to slip stitch into the marked stitch and the next stitch. Chain 1, leave a long tail for sewing. Cut, pull, and tighten. When you're sewing on the ears, you have to do something a little bit differently to get this shape. This is what your ear will look like before sewing, and this is what it'll look like after, and I'll show you how to do that. With your needle, you're first going to fold the ear in half to get that shape. And then you're going to insert your needle through the sides over here and tighten. And that's basically it. You've got the shape. I just like to do this a few more times to make it extra secure. And when you open it from the top, you're going to get that shape in the middle. Now go ahead and just sew this onto your bunny's head. Insert your needle through to attach it in place first, and then sew all the way around. Now, the body of both bunnies are exactly the same, whether you're making one with pointed ears or long ears, whatever you're making it holding, the body is the exact same. So for the body, you're going to start off once again with the same steps that we did, and the pattern for this is in the video's description. So if you scroll down, you're going to see the description of the video, and I've put the link over there. Go ahead and follow it. It's the exact same thing as the head. So the first few rounds are exactly the same as the head. And then you do a few more repeat rounds and then you decrease and you will be all done. Now I'm going to show you how to make the legs. Once again, the legs are same for both bunnies. The pattern for the legs is a little bit different, so same steps, but the stitch counts are different. So I thought that I would show you guys in case you get confused. We start off like normal, so you make a slip knot. Instead of chaining 3, you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to slip stitch into the first chain, insert your hook into the first chain, and slip stitch. And then chain 1. Remember that you can replace these steps by just making a magic ring. And now we're going to start round 1. You're going to insert 8 single crochets into the circle, so not 6. That's why we chained 4 instead of 3 to make space for a few more stitches. That's my first single crochet of round 1. So I'm just going to mark it with a stitch marker. I'm going to do 7 more to make a total of 8 single crochets. 2, 3. Once you're done, just pull the magic ring in tighter so that you can hide that little circle in the center. And for round 2, we're going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So the total stitch count will become 16. So you're going to do 16 single crochets, 2 in the same stitch. That's my first single crochet of round 2. I'm going to mark it with a marker, insert my hook back into that same stitch to do my second single crochet. Now go ahead and do 2 single crochets in the same stitch all the way around. Insert your hook back into the same stitch. Make sure you have 2 in every stitch. And now we're done increasing, so that's what the size of our legs are going to be. Now we're just going to do 2 repeat rounds. That means that for round 3 and round 4, you're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. This is going to build the length of your legs. Now if you want your legs to be longer, just do more repeat rounds. Once you're done with round 4, just end your work by slip stitching into the marked stitch. And then just to make it extra secure, slip stitch into the next stitch as well. Chain 1 and you're ready to fasten off your work. Cut, pull, tighten. Go ahead and make 2 of these so then you'll have 2 legs for your bunny. So I did it the same way that I did the ears. I just went all the way around. So this is my first round, 2, 3, 4, 5. I started sewing from the 5th round over here up till the 4 rounds over here. So that's my 5th round, 6, 7, 8, 9. So from round 5 to round 9, that's where I sewed on the legs. Now, when you're making the arms for the bunny that's going to be holding a tulip, you're just going to follow the pattern. I'll put it up on screen and it's going to be up on my blog as well. It's really easy, very repetitive. Once you're done with that, you're just going to single crochet the top closed. If you want to add stuffing, you can, but I want the arms to be a little bit flat, so I'm not going to. Just insert your hook through the next stitch or the same stitch and a stitch on the other side. There's no exact place that you have to go, and single crochet. Now you can remove your marker. Repeat this into the next stitch as well. So go through one piece and go through the other stitch on the other piece as well, and single crochet. And now you're done with the arms. Remember, if you want to make them longer, just do more rounds before you do this last step that I showed you. Depending on how you sew it, your bunny might look different from mine. I don't think that I sewed the head on perfectly. The arms also aren't the best, but I do recommend stuffing it a lot so it's nice and fluffy. Now the tulip is the same exact steps as the bunny, so we're going to go ahead and make our fake magic ring or a real magic ring. Make a slip knot and then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch into that first chain, chain 1 to start your round, and now we're going to do 6 single crochets into the center of the circle. Mark your first single crochet like we always do. Go ahead and do 5 more to make a total of 6 in the first round. Now we're going to do round 2, which means that you're going to do 2 single crochets in every stitch. Start from your marked stitch, that's 1 single crochet. Don't forget to mark it back. And then insert your hook into that same stitch because we're going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch, just like before. Now we're going to go and do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Insert your hook back into that same stitch, do another. Now go ahead and do 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around. Next, we're going to do repeat rounds, so just pay attention to the pattern and remember that you can open up the written pattern for reference, which I highly recommend doing. It's always better to have something to follow along rather than having to re-watch the video. Go ahead and do 1 single crochet in every stitch for the next few rounds, and then I'm going to show you how to end your work and give this a tulip shape at the top. Once you're done with round 5, we are just going to slip stitch into the marked stitch, and then we're going to fasten off, and then we're going to sew the top closed, which is what will make the tulip shape. Now you have to make sure to cut a long end because we're going to have quite a bit of sewing to do. And pull, tighten and fill your tulip with stuffing before you start the sewing. Now you're going to fold the top in half like this and find the corresponding stitch. So you're just going to go through a stitch in the middle and pull it really, really tight. Go back through the same stitch again, like that. Pull really, really tight once more. And now we're going to do this top over here. So you're going to go through this end. So you're going to go through that side, pull, and then go through the other side over here, pull, and then just pull out these ends like that. You're going to see like the 4 points at the top. Just go through the same place one more time to make it extra secure and to make the shape pop up a little bit more. And that's your tulip. We're going to end our work. I'm going to go through one more time, just really tightly, and then just come out from any stitch over there because I want to end my work now. Make it super tight once more, adjust as necessary. Make sure I'm pulling. And then once you're happy with the shape of your tulip, you can just tie a knot. I'm just going to go through that stitch where I was, insert my needle through. I'm just making a knot here, nothing special. Now my work is secured, so I'm going to take my needle, insert it back through onto the other side so we can hide this. And cut the extra. And you've got your little tulip. To make the green stem, I'm using a regular cotton yarn that works with a 4.5mm hook. You can use plushy yarn as well, but I want there to be a little bit of a difference in texture. You're going to start off by making your fake magic ring, or I'm going to do a real magic ring for this. So I just cross the yarn over like this on my fingers, insert my hook under, pull up a loop and twist, grab onto this end using my finger to help me, and chain 1. Now I've got a magic ring. Now I'm going to go ahead and insert my first single crochet. Now go ahead and do 6 single crochets for round 1. Once you've got your 6 single crochets into your real or fake magic ring, we're just going to do repeat rounds until the stem is as long as we want it to be. This means that you're only going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. But you always have to remember to place your marker into the first stitch of every round, so that you can track how many rounds you're doing. And that's just about it. Just go ahead and do 1 single crochet in every stitch until you're done with the number of rounds that the pattern says. Once you're done, let's end our work like we always do. Just slip stitch into the marked stitch and cut, and then pull. Now you're going to attach the stem onto your flower. Now I'm going to show you how to make a leaf that you can sew onto your tulip. This is optional, you don't have to. I think it's going to look cute even without the leaf. You're going to start off with a regular slip knot and then chain 4. Now if you want a longer leaf, you can chain more than 4. And then you're going to skip the first chain, and then you're going to single crochet into the next 3 chains. So insert your hook into that second chain, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2, making a single crochet, and then single crochet into the next 2 chains as well. And you're done. That's it. So that chain that we skipped at the beginning makes sort of like this pointy shape for the leaf. To end your work, you're just going to chain 1, get your scissor, make sure you leave something long enough to sew, and then pull, tighten. And then you're going to take this and you're going to sew it onto your tulip. My desk is so messed up, but I just wanted to show you how I'm attaching the tulip. I don't know if you can see the stitch over here, but basically I took my needle and I put it through the stitches, and now I'm just tying a knot. So you go through the stem of the flower and you go through any stitch in the hand, and then you just tie a knot to secure it in place, and then you can hide your ends. Now I'm going to show you how to make the little envelope with a heart on it. It would help if you have something for reference, or if you know how big you want your envelope to be. I'm going to make it as big as that card that I showed you, but I'm also going to put the exact number of chains and stitches I did so you can do the same as mine. I'm starting off by just making a regular slip knot, and now you're going to chain the width that you want for your heart envelope. The width is basically how wide it is, so this measurement over here. I did a total of 13 chains, and now we're just going to single crochet in each of the chains. You're going to skip the first chain because that is our turning chain, and you're going to insert your hook into that second chain and then single crochet into every chain. So if you had 13 chains, you're going to do 12 single crochets because we skipped the first one. Once you're done, we're just going to do rows of single crochet until this piece is big enough to be the front and back of our envelope. So to start a new row, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, ignore your chain 1, and then single crochet into every stitch. And that's basically it. Now you're just going to keep crocheting rows of single crochet until, like I said, this piece is big enough to be the front and back piece. I'm going to show you how to start a new row one more time. So all you do is chain 1 tightly, turn your work this way, skip the chain 1 and insert a single crochet into the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way down the row. Alright, so this is what I meant when I said do rows until you have the size that you want. So when you fold your work in half, you should have the size that you want for your love letter. I did a total of 16 rows. We're going to make the flap. So for the flap, I'm going to do 2 more rows of single crochet. So chain 1, turn my work and single crochet into every stitch. Do 2 more rows on top of the ones that you did to get the size of the envelope. Now these 2 rows that you'll do will build some length for the top of the flap. So I'm just going to grab a marker and place it on this row so that I know that this is where my flap will start from. So from here, that's where your flap will start. So the stitch marker basically helps us know that this is where we're going to start folding, and then our flap will come over here. Now I'm going to show you how to decrease the sides to get that triangle shape for the flap. You're not going to chain 1, you're just going to turn your work and you're going to skip the first stitch and single crochet into the second stitch over there. So you're basically skipping 1 at the beginning. Now go ahead and single crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches left at the end. Now I've got 2 stitches left. I'm going to skip this one and I'm going to go into the one at the end. So once again, we're skipping 1 stitch so that we can decrease the size. Now we're going to start, look, you can already tell that it's going a little bit inwards. Now we're going to start our next row, so don't chain 1, just turn your work, skip the first stitch and single crochet into the second stitch. And then single crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches left at the end. So just do 1 single crochet. Now I've got 2 stitches left. I'm going to skip this one and I'm just going to single crochet into the last stitch over there. And now repeat this until you only have a few stitches left. Let me show you what it's going to look like so far. So as you can see, the size is decreasing. So I repeated those steps until I have only 3 stitches left. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to end my work here, or you can do another row. Just remember to stretch your work out a little bit because it is going to get a bit curled up. But when you fold it, you're going to notice that your sides are smaller. Now we're going to make our work a little bit neater. So what you're going to do is just fasten off here, chain 1 and then cut. Now we're going to close up the sides and make our edges neater. Line up your work corner to corner. Just make sure that you like how everything is placed. And then you're going to insert your hook through the edges like that. Get your yarn, make a little loop with it like this, and slide that through. Then chain 1 to start your work off and pull this tight. Now you're going to insert your hook back through that same place. Make sure you're going through both pieces and single crochet. Now you're going to single crochet by inserting your hook as close to the edge as you can get and making sure that you're going through both the pieces like that. And then you're just going to single crochet. Go ahead and single crochet through both the pieces until you reach this part over here. When you're done with that, you would have attached the sides together. Now we're just going to single crochet around the top of our work as well So just insert your hook through these edges over here, so the edge of the flap as well, and single crochet all around. I'm just working over this end over here. You're just going to single crochet across the edge over here as well and come back down. Make sure that you're going as close to the edge as possible. There's no specific place where you have to insert your hook, as long as, once again, it's as close to the edge as possible. And then when you're close enough to start on the other edge, just make sure that you line your work up. Insert your hook through both the pieces like that, and single crochet to join once again. Make sure you're inserting your hook through both the pieces as you single crochet along the edge to close this edge. Once you're done, just chain one so that you can end your work. Make sure you tighten this, and then you can hide this end by just pulling it through and tucking it inside your little heart envelope. Here's how to make the heart to go on your love letter. You're going to start off by making a fake magic ring again. So we're going to make a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first chain over there. Now we're going to chain 1 to start the round, and you're going to insert the following stitches into the little circle in between your chains. We're going to start off by doing 1 single crochet. Make sure that you're inserting this in between your chains. That's 1 single crochet. Now we're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into the circle again, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops that are on your hook. Now we're going to do a double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook. Now there are many different heart patterns out there, but this is the size that worked for me. If this doesn't work for you, remember, please go ahead and just use any other heart pattern until you find one that you like. To complete the double crochet, yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Now we've made one side of the heart. Now we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into the circles, insert your hook. Pull up a loop, and then slide that same loop through really tightly, like that. And now we're going to make the other side of the heart. So you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and repeat the same steps onto the other side. So we're going to do 1 double crochet, then 1 half double crochet, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to do a single crochet. Remember to keep working over the end because you're going to need it to pull tighter later on. And then once you're done with that, you're just going to do 1 more double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook. This is going to be the bottom point of your heart. And now we can end our work. So just pull this really, really tight, and then go ahead and insert your hook into that very first single crochet that you made and slip stitch. I don't know if you can see it, but that is your little heart right over there. Now to make it more heart-like, I just pulled this really, really tight. Like, you have to pull this. Just make sure it doesn't break. And that's it. Now to end your work, you're just going to chain 1, and you can fasten off. And there you go, you've got a cute little plush heart to put on your love letter. Once you're done with the heart, you're just going to sew it onto your love letter. And there's an additional little thing that you can do that I think is really neat. You can sew on some titch buttons. These will be on my Amazon storefront as well if you want to purchase them, or if you can't find them in your local craft stores. You sew one piece here and another piece here, and that's how your heart envelope can basically open and close. You just snap it closed. And then you've got your bunny over here. Sorry, I was watching Friends. You've got your bunny here. With your plastic needle, you're just going to sew the corners of the love letter onto your bunny like that. After you're done with the sewing, this is what you should have. I just sewed it onto the arms. I'll just show you guys a close-up real quick. There's just a little knot that goes through 1 stitch in the arm, the hands, and 1 stitch at the back of the love letter, and that's what holds it up on the other side as well. Oh, look, you can see that over there. Aren't they so cute? I hope you guys like this tutorial, and make sure to tag me in your creations. And if you can, please do sign up for a free trial on Skillshare. I love supporting you guys and giving you free patterns to use for your small business, but please, if you can, sign up for a free trial of Skillshare so I can continue making more videos for you guys. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone!